You might notice my septum ring has changed. It's like wider. It was because earlier this month, I ended up in the hospital. I had to take all of my jewelry out. I only had my septum ring out for a day, and I could not get my jewelry back in. And it was extremely annoying because I've had my septum ring out way longer than that. I mean, I remember there was one time I had it out for like 4 days. Had no problem getting it in. But for some reason, I couldn't get it in this time. I actually like my septum piercing. Every other piercing I've had, I've never cared about, like if it closed, whatever. My dumb behind took the jewelry and just jammed it in there. So I basically re-pierced my jewelry. I was in excruciating pain for a good 24 hours. And it wasn't a normal pain. Because of course, if you get pierced, you're going to be a little sore. This was not a soreness. This was like, don't touch my face at all. It was so painful. It was actually more painful than when I got my wisdom teeth out. It was more painful than that. It was horrific. Then, of course, since I jammed it, it caused, the scarring got worse. So basically, I don't know if I want to call it a keloid, but it pushed it out. And to make it worse, because I'm that much of a fool, I didn't put my original jewelry in. I put in this tiny ass freaking horseshoe. It's still the same gauge. It's 14 gauge, but it's like really tiny. So it didn't account for the swelling that I caused myself to have because I'm a dumbass. You can't see it now because it's fine. It's fine now. But basically, the scarring was so bad that it was hanging out of my nostril. You could actually see it the keloid or the whatever it's called. It's like a tunnel scar. It came out. It was actually hanging out of my nostril. Oh, and it was coming out. So I actually had what looked like a cut across the septum part across my nose. Which probably wouldn't have happened if I would have gave myself normal jewelry. So Derek found me a horseshoe that's a tad like wider than my original, slapped that in, and everything seems to be hunky-dory. But I know better. Okay, I got my first piercing when I was 18. I got my first tattoo when I was 18. I know better than to purposely hurt myself. And the reason why I had to take all my jewelry out was because it was a psychiatric issue. And that's all I'm going to say. Thankfully, I did stay overnight at the local hospital, but thankfully in the morning I was well enough that they said I could go home as opposed to like transferring me and putting me on a hold. I don't want to really explain why I ended up there, but basically the ER doctor was like, look, I don't think you're a danger to yourself. You obviously need a rest, but you do not want to be put on a legal hold. You do not want to be transferred because you obviously suffer from anxiety, and it's going to make your anxiety worse if someone's going to follow you around and stare at you for 24 hours a day. And I thought about that. I was like, yeah, he's right. Having someone watch me pee isn't that bad because I did it when I was in the military. But but having people watch everything I do and just sit there. There was actually someone, the room I was put in, there was someone next to me in the room that was on legal hold, and there was this nurse that was sitting at the bed. I didn't care that she was in the room, but that would drive me crazy if someone was at the end of the bed, like, and just following you around. So that's why I had to take the jewelry out. Everyone has stuff going on in their life, but there was just a lot of things accumulating, and which I don't want to talk about, but basically I was outside and I happened to see a sheriff, and I pulled him to the side and I said, look, you need to get me somewhere because I'm going to throw myself in front of a car. It wasn't because I was specifically suicidal. It was because my anxiety was so bad and my mind was racing so bad that my impulses were through the roof. It's beyond like depression or I want to die. It was just like, I want to do something stupid kind of thing. I went to the hospital. Then I had an anxiety attack in the hospital and wanted to leave. And they were like, we're not letting you leave. Like, you want to kill yourself. You can't leave. And they gave me, and I want to talk to my doctors about this, because they said it was a medication similar to Xanax. And it worked so well on me. Whatever it wasn't the kind of medication where you feel it kick in. It was just like suddenly I felt better and felt calm. Whatever it was, it didn't make me drowsy. Then they gave me Ambien, which is what I'm prescribed, and to put me to sleep. And I woke up and I felt so much better. I know quite a few people who work at that hospital, but in a normal circumstance, I wouldn't see them. But one of them came in. She had dumped stuff out, and she left, but then she ducked back in. She did a double take, and she said, "Is that you, Joy?" And I said, "Yes, that's me." And she said, "Oh, give me a hug." And I saw her, actually I saw her yesterday, and said hello, gave me another hug. And this might have also been yesterday, but it wasn't yesterday. It was the day before yesterday. The person that was in the room with me, that was on the legal hold, I saw her 2 days ago at the library, and she recognized me. And it's crazy because it was kind of dark in the room because they were trying to make her feel comfortable. So I didn't even know that she saw my face. I know I saw her face, but I didn't realize she recognized me because she really wasn't feeling well. But she saw me, and immediately, like, her eyes lit up, and she was like, "Hi," and I gave her a hug, and we were both asking each other how we were feeling, and we were talking about it. By the way, it's really nice when someone's going through a similar situation. Her mental health diagnosis was completely different. Still, we were going through a problem. And you don't have to have a mental illness to understand that. When you meet someone that's going through a similar situation, it's not that you're happy for them that they're having problems, but it's still like, oh, I can talk to someone about this and they're not going to freak out. I'm pretty open about my mental health issues. I'm not ashamed of it. I just don't want to talk about the things that caused me to have that particular episode because it involves other people. I feel like I need to think before I throw people under the bus. Like my ex-husband, I'll throw him under 10 buses. I don't, because he's a rapist and, a wife beater. It's just like, okay, why should he be protected? And also, he's not part of my life. Most people don't even know what he looks like, don't know who he is. I've scrubbed him out of almost every internet account I have. But when you still have people in your life, even if you're not necessarily saying something bad directly towards them, it still might come out the wrong way. So that's why I don't want to talk about what exactly happened. I've been very cryptic the last couple months, but it's just because I don't know how to talk about certain things when it involves other people. I can talk about my life and my feelings all day long, but then I have to sit here and skate around other people because they deserve their privacy too. What else? Oops. Holy crap. Sorry, I just realized I'm an idiot. I just realized this. I deposited a check through my phone. I do that all the time. And I just now realized that the person did not... I get checks often because I sell Avon. And I don't do well with it, but still. So when I get a check, unless I know I'm going to the bank, because it can take some time for them to deposit to actually post my account, I usually deposit them immediately through my phone. We take a picture of the front and back, sign it, all that stuff. So I got this check yesterday, so I went ahead and deposited it and didn't even really look at the check. And I just noticed that the person who wrote the check left the pay to the order of blank. My name isn't on it. And I'm like, oh. Like I guess because a lot of people don't know how to spell my last name, so I do get checks that just say Joy. when I have to put in my last name. It was just an automatic action, so I did not realize until just now that my name wasn't on the check and I already deposited it. So I'm gonna have to hold on to it just in case it like doesn't deposit. But nothing else is going. There's really nothing exciting going on in my life.